Every day, more questions are being raised about that Jeffrey Epstein prison cell video that the Department of Justice and the FBI released with great fanfare. Look how transparent we're being. They described it as the full, raw surveillance video from the camera near the child sex trafficker's prison cell the night before he was found dead. It was their so-called, look, here's the video. Right away, people noticed at least a minute was missing. Now, the explanation Attorney General Pam Bondi gave didn't make that much sense. It was something about a tech glitch. And the confusion's gone on for the last 3 weeks. Now there's new reporting. The FBI actually has in its possession a copy of the video with the missing footage. So what exactly is going on? Will Summers, a senior reporter for The Bulwark, who has been closely covering this story, and he joins me now. So I want to just start on the missing minute, okay? People noticed the missing minute, I think, in the time codes and in the metadata. And I want to play Pam Bondi's explanation of the missing minute, which I just want to start off in saying my inclination is not to think that, like, they edited the video and that he was murdered in his prison cell. I think he probably did kill himself. I'm trying to be, like, rational about all this, but they're being weird. So here's Pam Bondi. Take a listen.
The video was not conclusive, but the evidence prior to it was showing he committed suicide. And what was on that, there was a minute that was off the counter. And what we learned from Bureau of Prisons was every night, they redo that video. It's old, from like 1999. So every night the video is reset, and every night should have the same minute missing. So we're looking for that video.
Okay, so Will, now CBS reports there's a version of the full video. So was she lying about that? Like, what's going on?
It's really hard to know. I mean, I think, like with so much of this Epstein situation, there are all these unanswered questions, and the government, in its attempts to close the case, keeps creating more questions. On one hand, perhaps, we were promised here the full and raw footage were their words. And now they're saying, initially, as you said, she said, there's 1 minute missing, which we, by the way, forgot to mention initially. And now it's reported that there is a minute, and there's all these the metadata suggests that there's, in fact, maybe 3 minutes that were missing, or maybe the tape was weirdly sped up. So there are all these issues that the government really seems to be in no rush to answer.
There also is the point that Julie K. Brown made, which is that, at one point in the video, you see him walking in, right, through those doors, but that essentially there's another avenue to reach the cell. So it's not even of the cell. It's of, like, the entrance to a block that the cell is in, and there's another way to get to the cell. So, like, at some level, it's not even clear what this shows.
It doesn't really prove anything. I mean, the CBS analysis really goes into it. And as you said, Julie K. Brown, who's followed this case so closely, has said the same thing, that this doesn't, the government presented this as sort of case closed, that if you watch this video, you'll see that no one came in. But in fact, people could go in another way. And through the analysis of the video, CBS showed that people are able to access the block without being on the video, or they're able to access it without guards. So all of these things the government is saying, on one hand, maybe their analysis of the video was just really botched and rushed, and that creates its own issue, or combining that with the weird way other things in this case have been handled, with the president telling everyone to move on, get over it, insulting people over it. You wonder, is there something else going on here that's more sinister?
I mean, again, the conclusion both times, right, back in Trump 1, which, again, this all happened during Trump 1. Just want to be clear. I know that everyone in MAGA world wants to talk about how, like, the Clintons somehow are responsible for what happened to Jeffrey Epstein, but it was Donald Trump's Justice Department with William Barr overseeing that facility. It was that was who was in charge of custody at that point. The conclusion then was that he killed himself. The conclusion of the Department of Justice said, in their memo, we've labored to provide the public with maximum information regarding Epstein. It's the determination of the DOJ and FBI. No further disclosure would be appropriate or warranted, talking about the data there. I guess the one question is, like, so it does seem like there are actually two things. There is some raw video with the missing minute, according to reporting by CBS at least, that presumably they could release, right?
Right. I mean, you wonder, if they have the minute, why haven't they released it? I mean, number one, it seems like this video doesn't really prove much of anything. But if there is there's a minute that's missing, we go back to the Watergate tapes, the missing 18 and a half minutes. you know, this is something that if you take it out, and the administration has put so much on these tapes, they've said, this is why we are closing the case in large part. You can see Epstein killed himself. Well, if there's a missing minute, you know, that there's a lot riding on that. And why wouldn't they release it? It makes you wonder what's in it.
The other thing here is that Bondi has now done this twice, right? Remember, she did the big like binder day where all these right-wing influencers were invited to the White House to get VIP treatment and be given these binders. They came out triumphantly out of the press briefing room, like waving around, and then they like leave through it and they're like, oh, these are PDFs that have been on the internet for 10 years. And this seems like another one of those. It was like, here, the special raw uncut video from inside. And then it's like, no, that's actually, it's just like the binder all over again.
Well, and just like when she said the client list was on her desk. I mean, so this is a repeat thing where she's making these big promises. She's saying, you know, it's case closed, it's over, or we have this evidence. And then suddenly when you say, you know, I mean, kind of the slightest bit of examination, it didn't take people long to notice that on this tape there was a missing minute that she never brought up. Look, if there's a legitimate reason for the missing minute, apparently there isn't if it exists anyway. But at the time, why didn't they bring that up initially? Why did they wait for someone to find out about it?